Now on NBC Palm Springs at 6, high heat hits the Coachella Valley, bringing rising energy bills even before the summer months. What energy experts suggest? We've got those details ahead.
Also tonight, a beloved pizzeria in Palm Desert reopens 2 years after a devastating fire. How the community showed its support. Coming up.
We're tracking a potential record-breaking heat wave with temperatures nearly 30 degrees above average for this time of year. Your NBC Palm Springs starts now.
Now, connecting the valley, this is NBC Palm Springs at 6.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Sandusky.
And I'm Mark Mester. Triple-digit temperatures are in the Coachella Valley, and it's much earlier than many expected this year. It's tonight's top story. Our Alondra Campos joins us live in studio tonight on how people are handling the heat and what experts say you can do to save energy. Alondra?
That's right. Triple-digit temperatures are making an early appearance across the Coachella Valley this week, with forecasts climbing 30 degrees, well above what we typically see this time of year. And while some people say they don't mind the early heat, others say it's already forcing them to adjust their day-to-day plans.
Do you think it's a little too early for this heat for California? Honestly, I'd probably say yes, considering that we're only in March.
The heat is on across the Coachella Valley as triple-digit temperatures are set to arrive much earlier than expected this year. For Kimberly Garcia, the early heat is all part of living in the desert.
We've been having a shift in weather differences, that it's getting hotter earlier and colder later.
While Debbie and Kristen, frequent Palm Springs visitors, tell us the extreme temperatures were not what they expected.
Here like 12 or 13 years ago at about this time, it was great. We did about 75, 80 degrees.
It really has heated up incredibly in the last couple of days.
A rise in temperatures of more than 30 degrees than what we typically see during this time of year also means a change in plans for outdoor activities.
We were going to be doing a hike to Tuckeets Canyon on Wednesday, and we saw the forecast. So we went today, and then we'll go to Joshua Tree instead on Wednesday, where it's a little bit cooler.
And while some are basking in this triple-digit heat and others are being forced to change their plans during this peak travel season, these above-average temperatures may be spiking up electricity bills, a concern experts say may affect energy use and efficiency. Southern California Edison says small changes at home can make a big difference.
If they do turn their air conditioner on, we recommend adjusting it to 78 degrees when they're home. And if they will be stepping away or stepping out of the home, they can change that to 85 degrees so that their home stays fresh, but they're not overloading their AC.
And with air conditioners about to work overtime, local HVAC professionals say now is the time to make sure your unit is ready. The team at Esser Air Conditioning and Heating in Palm Desert says they are already receiving a number of calls for maintenance assistance.
We run into a lot of really dirty filters or evap coils and a thing called a capacitor. A capacitor is very similar to like a car battery. It's inside the unit. For some reason in the summer, they tend to swell and go out.
Manager Chris Holland says taking preventative measures now can save you time and money.
So if it's harder for your system to breathe with a dirty filter, it's going to make the motor run longer and actually harder. It's harder on your system.
And with temperatures expected to remain above average for the next several days, experts say preparing your home now and practicing energy-saving habits can help keep both you and your wallet a little cooler through the heat. Live in studio, I'm Alondra Campos. Back to you.
Alondra, thank you. Speaking of the heat, let's take a live look outside from our Agua Caliente casino camera in downtown Palm Springs. Probably just starting to feel pretty good out there for those who are going to dinner in Palm Springs, maybe eat out on the patio with some misters. For more on our 3-day forecast, let's check in with Kai Beach tonight.
Happy Monday, everyone. We're starting the work week off with very warm weather out there. The reason why, ridge of high pressure, that's going to dominate Southern California over the next few days. And because of that, we have a heat advisory, and we also have an extreme heat warning. That's going to last through most of the week and could be extended into the weekend. Now, how to prepare for this heat wave? Well, we want you to stay indoors if you can, drink lots of water if you have to go outside, wear sunscreen, take breaks if you're doing any strenuous activity, and also try to find some shade. All right, for the high temperatures today, Big Bear City looking warm for them. We're looking at mid-60s. Bargain Shop and Cab is on low 90s. Here on the valley floor, just under triple digits, and up the hill, Joshua Tree in the mid-80s. Tonight, temperatures drop. East end of the valley, Indio, we're looking at mid-60s. Palm Springs only gets down into the 70s. Idlewild, that looks nice at 54 degrees, and Big Bear, cool 34 degrees. That's the magic of Southern California. It's a 2-hour drive away, about a 30-degree difference. When it comes to air quality, we're looking at good conditions here in our valley, but parts of the IEOCLA, they're looking at moderate conditions. All right, for tonight's evening stroll conditions, let's take a look. 6 o'clock, mid-90s to 8 o'clock, low 90s, 10 o'clock, mid-80s, and at midnight, we are still in the 80s. High temperatures across the country. Things are starting to warm up. Phoenix, we're looking at 93. But Minnesota, they just got a snowstorm. Boston preparing for some heavy rain. Seattle is looking gloomy up there. San Francisco, the Bay Area, they could see some record-breaking heat. In LA, they're going to see some big waves over the next few days. We're looking at 5 to 6 foot faces. Have some fun, but stay safe. All right, for Tuesday, it's going to be hot and dry. That ridge of high pressure starts to strengthen. Temperatures go up. Take a look at that 3-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. Temperatures rise Thursday just under 110 degrees, and those overnight lows stay pretty consistent in the mid-70s. I'll have a full forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, our thanks to Kai for that. We have more local news to talk about this evening. Tonight, after a 2-year rebuilding process, the iconic Coachella Valley staple Papa Dan's has officially reopened its doors for business. Let's go to Brett Rosen, who's live at the pizzeria tonight, to tell us more. Hey, Brett.
Mark, inside Papa Dan's in Palm Desert. Like you said, it's been 2 years since the start of the rebuild, and right behind me you can see this place for the grand opening is already filled to the brim. People coming in to be able to just get a pizza to go, sit down and eat. There's so many people here that are help supporting this local business and its grand opening today after 2 years. Now, earlier there was a ribbon cutting ceremony, so I got to speak with some patrons before the real grand opening tonight about what their thoughts were about this place reopening. Take a look. It's a restaurant that's been a staple in the Coachella Valley for nearly 5 decades. Papa Dan's has been closed for 2 years, rebuilding after a fire had demolished the whole building. And during the ribbon-cutting ceremony, more than 100 different patrons and Palm Desert City officials came out for the celebration. Sounds like printed receipts, and the back smelling like freshly made pizza, bringing nostalgia to the customers coming in. Many saying when coming to Papa Dan's, it feels like a family.
Just feel like all the aromas that you smell here, it just makes you feel like home.
You know, the community needed this. I mean, we love Papa Dan's, and I'm so grateful for Ira for actually getting it back up and running. It was closed. A lot of the wait staff, you know, obviously were working elsewhere and recognized us when we were at other restaurants.
Even at 10 in the morning, there was already a line of people waiting to order who came from the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Owner of the restaurant, Ira Mosley, says he was shocked when seeing the turnout of locals who came out to support.
Really is humbling. I knew we always had community support, but the chamber was telling me that they do these ribbon cuttings all the time and have never had a turnout like this.
Mosley says the last 2 years of the rebuilding process has not been easy in the slightest. But even with the hoops he says he had to jump through, Mosley says seeing the amount of people come out to support made the waiting worth it.
If I had to do it again, just because of today, I would have done it.
So many people coming out here to support today, giving the owner, Ira, a handshake, a hug. So thankful that he's back in business. Like the patrons were saying earlier today, it's more than just pizza. Live here inside Papa Dan's in Palm Desert, I'm Brett Rosen. I'll send it back in studio to Mark and Olivia.
Brett, thank you. We have a local alert tonight. A death investigation is underway after a woman's body was discovered in Desert Hot Springs. Investigators say officers responded to the area of Mission Creek Road and Worsley Road on Sunday. This was around 5:15 for a report of a possibly deceased person. When officers arrived on scene, they determined the body was that of an adult female. Due to the circumstances, Desert Hot Springs Police Department detectives responded. They assumed the case, and tonight this investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information about the incident is encouraged to contact the detectives, whose numbers are right there on your screen.
2 firefighters were injured while battling a house fire in India this afternoon. According to CAL FIRE, crews responded just before 1:30 in the afternoon to Alexandria Court, where they encountered an active attic fire at a single-story home. A second and third alarm were called as crews worked to contain the blaze. Officials say the 2 firefighters suffered non-life-threatening injuries during a partial roof collapse. They were taken to a local trauma center. The fire was contained just before 3 p.m. The cause remains under investigation.
Authorities have identified a woman killed in a crash in Banning. According to the California Highway Patrol, 46-year-old Shondine Boniface died Sunday night after a high-speed crash on Seminole Drive near Morongo Trail. Investigators say Boniface lost control, struck a concrete divider, and then collided head-on with a Kia. The driver of the Kia and a passenger were hospitalized with injuries. They were taken to Desert Regional Medical Center to begin their recovery process. Coming up next here on NBC Palm Springs, a new mural in Indio honors a young life that left a lasting impact. We've got the details coming up.
Also, a high school athlete breaking records on the track, and she's just a sophomore. Caitlin Kelly has her story coming up in sports.
And a quick look at your gold and silver prices on this Monday evening. We have those headlines and more right after this break, so stay with us.
Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 6.
City of Indio has just unveiled new public art over at Loma Linda Children's Hospital off of Civic Center Drive. It's called the Desi Memorial Mural. Honors the life and legacy of Indio resident Desiree Ava Grace Chakeen, who died back in 2016 at the young age of just 6. Desi's battle with stage 4 cancer inspired the foundation of the Desi Strong Foundation. The mural was created by artist Patrick Berwinski and has a mixed media element that you can use by pointing your smartphone at it. Desiree's mother spoke with us about the impact of seeing her daughter being honored.
It's 10 years since our daughter Desi had passed away, and so it's a lot of emotions today. I feel a lot of love and support from the community. Of course, there's still dealing with grief every day. It's like different waves of grief. But I think if Desi were here today, she would just be really excited and think about how cool seeing the butterflies come to life are, and be very happy.
Paleta also hopes that when children leave the hospital and see that mural, its vibrant colors and its message will give them a sense of hope and remind them the strength they've already shown.
New at 6 o'clock tonight, Augustine Casino is highlighting young artists from the East Valley with a new exhibit at its Seven Feathers Gallery. The show features work by 8th grade art students from Toro Canyon Middle School in Thermal. It's titled Mi Gente, Mi Tierra, or My People, My Land. It explores the students' connections to their culture, family traditions, and the desert landscape they call home. The collection offers a colorful look at life in the Coachella Valley from the students' point of view.
The tribe was really interested in just really allowing people to show the culture and the art of the Coachella Valley. And so we thought it would be a great space to be able to feature local artists that maybe don't have a platform and have great art. Our employees get to experience new art every couple months, so that's been fun for them. And we love being able to showcase the rich history and culture and art of the Coachella Valley.
If you're interested in displaying your students' art, you can visit the Augustine Casino website to apply.
We have live pictures tonight from our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera. Pablo Alsina has tonight off, so Kai Beach is in, and he's got your full 7-day forecast on the other side of this commercial break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Let's take a live look from our Walter Clark Highway 111 camera in Rancho Mirage. A hot one out there, only getting hotter. Here's Kai Beach with our 7-day forecast.
It's really warm out there, and it's going to get even warmer over the next few days. As for today, we saw a record-tying heat, triple-digit mark, usually in the 80s, so about 20 degrees above average for this time of year. But at least it's that dry heat. Dew point, relative humidity, those numbers are low. Temperatures will rise, though, and this is a dangerous heat wave and high risk for some heat-related illnesses. Best to stay inside. If you can, if you have to go outdoors, drink lots of water and also wear some sunscreen, because this could be very, very dangerous for people that are elder and people that are sweating a lot out there in our beautiful desert community. As for the future wind potential, pretty calm over the next few days. The usual suspects, Whitewater, looking at gusts around 20 miles an hour. High temps today, we're looking around 100 degrees here on the valley floor. Up the hill, Joshua Tree, warm for them, mid 80s, and then Big Bear, 65 degrees. Tonight, Big Bear drops about 30 degrees to the mid-30s. Cabazon low 60s, and on the valley floors, we're looking at low 70s and the mid-60s. For tomorrow's morning walk forecast, it's going to get warm very early. 6 o'clock, we're in the low 70s. By 10 o'clock, just under 90 degrees, and at noon, just under triple digits. For tomorrow, Palm Springs over the century mark. You head to the coast, you're going to see some warm weather out there as well. You're also going to see some big waves, 4 to 5 to 6 foot spaces. Go out there, have some fun, but stay on shore if you're not an experienced swimmer. For the high temps tomorrow, we're going to see a mixed bag, 80s, 90s, and triple digits. We could see some record-breaking heat. That's what we're predicting. Holiday countdown is on. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Easter Sunday, that's about 3 weeks away. Time to pay income taxes. That's just about a month away. All right, Thursday, very, very hot. That ridge of high pressure, that really starts to heat up. It's going to dominate Southern California. Temperatures just under 110 degrees. 7-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. Take a look at that Friday peak heat, 110 degrees. Those overnight lows, mid-70s, high 60s.
And now, NBC Palm Springs Sports with Caitlin Kelly, powered by Agua Caliente Casino.
Well, as the old saying goes, records are meant to be broken. But for one sophomore on the Palm Desert High School track and field team, it's not just a saying, it's a lifestyle. So far this year, sophomore Marina Avila has broken 5 school records. Her first broken record of the season came on February 27th when she ran the 2-mile at 11 minutes 32 seconds. Since then, she's broken that record twice and has also broken the school 1-mile record twice, which currently stands at 5 minutes 9 seconds. I spoke with her head coach, Mark Monroy, who says in his time coaching at Palm Desert, he's never quite seen anything like Marina.
Not since I've been here at Palm Desert. We haven't seen anybody just continuously break a record week in, week out. And so our social media is going to be flooded in, I think, for the remainder of the season with her. She's not even halfway peaked, so I can see a big-time scholarship coming for sure.
And as for Marina, she says she's not done breaking records either, and she has some personal records she's hoping to beat.
For the mile is to break 5, and then the 2 mile is to break 11, which I'm pretty close to both, so I'm very excited for that, and hopefully go to Nike Outdoor Nationals.
We'll be keeping tabs on Marina. If she breaks any more records, we'll be sure to let you know. That'll do it for sports. I'm Caitlin Kelly.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
The 15th annual American Documentary and Film Festival is returning to the Coachella Valley. It's an Oscar-qualifying festival that brings together filmmakers and audiences to celebrate powerful documentary and animated films that illuminate real-world stories, social issues, and diverse global perspectives. This year, the festival is excited to feature projects with a local tie, like the documentary Something to Entertain You. It follows Coachella Valley artists Karen and Tony Baroni, whose vibrant aluminum sculptures you've probably seen around the Coachella Valley. They've become a colorful part of the desert's public art scene. This film is directed by former CNN journalists and Rancho Mirage residents John and Mary Orlin and makes its debut at the festival on Thursday, March 26th.
The biggest thing I want them to realize is that Karen and Tony are such talented people and very generous and have led very interesting lives that I think most people have no idea about.
There's more to their sculpture than meets the eye, and I think you might come out of watching the film and you'll see their sculptures in a different light than you did before, but then you'll also meet two really inspiring people that there's all this stuff that we don't want to have any spoilers, but there's all this stuff about them that people don't know, and I think they have a message about your own life of living free and doing what you want and being creative.
Well, the documentary certainly is fabulous. So if you'd like to hear more from Mary and John, you can catch my full conversation with the filmmakers. It's on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com, to answer all your questions. The festival runs from March 25th to the 29th. And also at this year's AmDocs Festival, you can catch my special report 80 years later, the Coachella Valley's World War II legacy. I'm so excited to have my work featured at the festival again this year, and I hope you will join me out there. You can stop by the Cultural Center on Sunday, the 28th at 1:30 to watch our local World War II heroes share their incredible and very powerful stories on the big screen for the very first time. So we can't wait for the AmDocs. We've got more news after this break. Stay with us.
All right, finally tonight we wanted to tell you about this. Just a few days away, we're talking about the Easter egg hunt. It's being put on by the Palm Springs Fire Department, as you can see right there. March 29th, you're told to arrive early. Egg hunt starts at 9. The event is from 9 to 12. It's at Ruth Hardy Park. You see the address right there, and it looks like it's sponsored by our great friends over at Denny's. I think I read in the flyer before there is a free pancake breakfast.
Ooh.
So Easter eggs and pancake breakfast. Sign me up.
And firefighters.
Yeah. I can't believe it's already time for Easter.
That's what you're into. All right, that's going to do it for us. I'm back here for the news at 11, so please join me for that. Meantime, we're going to send things over to Tim O'Brien tonight. He's in for Fred Rogan, and he's got the latest with the Rogan Report.
All right, from the Boston Tea Party to women marching in the street in support of the ERA protest, that has been a way of life in America since it was enshrined in the Constitution. And now some people protesting the government and hoping to hit them where it hurts, the purse strings. We'll talk about it coming up. Welcome in on a brand new week. I'm Tim O'Brien, in tonight for Fred Rogan. So if you've been following the ongoing legal saga with Coachella Mayor Steven Hernandez, there's a new development. He's officially launched a legal defense fund to help fight the felony charges that he's facing. Now, as a quick refresher, the mayor was indicted last year on counts of perjury and conflict of interest, with prosecutors alleging that he didn't disclose certain financial interests while voting on big city projects. Now, this fund is basically his way of asking for community support to cover his mounting attorney fees as the case moves toward trial. Now, he's consistently maintained his innocence, and this move shows that he's digging in for what could be a very long and expensive legal battle. It's a move that has people all across the valley talking about where the line should be drawn between a public official's private life and their duties at City Hall. Now, records show that as of December of last year, the fund has about $73,500 so far, and that's including a $66,000 personal loan Hernandez made to himself and a $7,500 donation from Tower Energy Corp, which owns Tower Market, who at the time was the sole contributor. Now, our contributors tonight, owner of Sherlock Holmes Watch, that's Miss Tammy Bleck, and filmmaker Paul Scott. Good evening to the both of you. Tammy, ladies first. What do you think about Hernandez asking the community to give him money for his defense?
Well, I don't think much about it, but, you know, I think it needs to be said that this guy's got 5 felony counts against him already, 4 of them perjury, 1 of them conflict of interest, and I think he has 4 misdemeanors for conflict of interest, and he's still collecting a paycheck. My feeling is he should be put on leave without pay, and if he's acquitted, he gets all that back pay, but he should not be in power. If I did that, I would not have a job. Paul?
I agree 100%. I think, one more felony charge and he gets a free cup of coffee. It's just kind of amazing to me, though, that he could possibly be, getting a paycheck when he is accused of all of these counts of misconduct while being mayor. And he shouldn't be anywhere near City Hall at all. He shouldn't be drawing any paycheck.
There's that saying, certain people just can't get out of their own way. So, Tammy, I'll ask you, borrowing $66,000, then donating it to yourself, he'll still be on the line for that money. So make that make sense.
Right? I mean, first of all, or will he? I mean, does he have, there's a lot of shenanigans going on there, let's be honest. So I don't know, maybe he knows people, wink, wink, and he won't be, with that money. I don't know, but it just is so insane. Just seriously, I can't grasp it either.
Paul, who'd give him a loan for $66,000? I mean, when you get a loan, they ask you, what are you going to do with the money? And if he says the truth, which is, I'm going to fight these charges that I basically misplaced the public trust and I grifted off to the system, and I'm going to fight that. That's what I'm using the money for. Who lent him the money?
That's a whole other question. Where did it come from? How are you paying it back? Paul and Tammy, sit tight, all right? So we're going to get going here on this Monday. So if you're wondering why there's so much talk about the Palm Springs Library budget lately, here's the deal. The city is looking at some pretty big cuts, but they say that it's not actually a reduction in services. Well, because the main library is closed for that massive $45 million renovation, the city is scaling back the budget to match what they're actually spending while operating out of a smaller temporary spot. So library leaders say that the reduction hits the accounts that pay for new books and bestsellers, which are really the core of what the library offers to the public. Now, city officials say that the numbers could be revisited in the next budget update, so only time will tell, but that hasn't stopped some folks from worrying. Though, once a budget gets trimmed, it's a lot harder to get those dollars back later. Library leaders warn that a projected $157,000 cut next year could be tough to absorb and might affect the collection long term. So we'll bring in our contributors again. The big library is closed. Smaller library, smaller budget. Tammy, what's wrong with that?
Well, I think everything's wrong with that. I think our libraries are our communities and cities, one of our best assets. I mean, they provide educational programs and GED classes and workshops and Wi-Fi and job and resume assistance. I mean, there's just so much that they contribute that this is not a place that should have to bargain and suffer. I'm not happy about it at all. Paul?
Well, I think you're absolutely spot on. I think, there's a part of our population that really utilizes the library as their home office. And they use it for things to better their lives and to better the community and to really kind of lift themselves up. Not to mention the fact that it gets very hot here. And there are a lot of folks that go there to get away from the heat as well. So there could be a lot of medical issues that arise from the fact that there's less space for people to go in and read a book and get out of the heat. But, I think that this is just, again, it's a priorities issue.
Tammy, we'll go back to you here. Paul, you answered there question 3, which is awesome because it would have got to the point of cooling centers, so on and so forth. But Tammy, quickly, 30 seconds are left. How could reduce funding for new books and materials have that long-term impact on the library's collection? Because eventually you're going to run out of books.
Oh, heck yeah. And they went through this in 2008. The same kind of scenario wasn't as drastic, but I'm not sure they ever caught up. I mean, you're behind. You miss a year of all new material. It's going to take years to catch up with that. Years. And that's a shame. That's more than a shame. It's a crime.
Paul and Tammy, sit tight here for just a moment. We'll keep this moving along. Now, switching gears to parking. That's for the disabled. It's a big deal here in the Valley. We talked about it back in February. Well, Fred did, of course, and found out by law that you only need 3 handicap spaces for every 60 spaces available. That's when it got interesting because we received a viewer email from Patrick. And he wrote this: I am a 100% disabled veteran who has a DV disabled veteran handicap parking plate. My complaint is that there is not one, and I'll repeat that, not one handicap parking place in all of downtown Palm Springs. I was reading this today personally, and I said there's absolutely no way that makes sense. So we thought Patrick must be mistaken. We did a little investigation. Turns out, well, he's actually right. There's not one street parking place labeled for the disabled. Now, here's the good news. None of those spaces need to be marked disabled because in California, every single street parking space is effectively a handicap spot. There's a California vehicle code that says drivers with a valid disabled placard or license plate can park in almost any on-street space for as long as they need. Now, regardless of posted time limits, here's the breakdown of how Palm Springs works. Because Palm Springs has a massive amount of free limited time parking, street parking rather, usually 20 minutes or 2 hours, the city doesn't always stripe specific blue zones on the curb. Now, if you have a placard, ignore the time limits. You can park in a 2-hour zone all day if you need. Green curbs are fair game. You can park at short-term green curbs for up to 72 hours. Metered spaces, if applicable. If you find a metered spot, you can park there for free for an unlimited time. Now, street parking in downtown Palm Springs often parallel or angled without much extra room. ADA compliant street spot requires specific load zones, those crosshatch lines, so a wheelchair lift can safely deploy into the street. So it's often safer for the city to direct disabled drivers to the off-street lots and garages like the large Museum Way structure, while where there are dedicated extra wide ADA stalls and elevators rather than having them exit a vehicle into heavy traffic on Palm Canyon Drive. And to get this, if you need a guaranteed wide space with a ramp nearby, you'll find plenty of them in the city-managed lots just a block off the main drag. As mentioned, the Museum Way Garage has many spots with dedicated ADA levels, and the Indian Canyon lot offers several designated blue zones right near the sidewalk. But always remember, while your placard gets you out of time limits and metered fees, it does not let you park in red no parking zones, yellow commercial loading zones, or white passenger loading zones beyond the posted limit. Hope that helps. Meanwhile, viewer Will Block wants to give a good neighbor thank you to the Palm Springs Cultural Center manager and staff. He went on to write us, saying, "I would like to give a shout out to the Palm Springs Cultural Center manager and employees who helped us locate my wallet that fell out of my pocket. They were so cooperative and patient. We were relieved when the wallet was found with all contents." So lead by example like the good people at the Palm Springs Cultural Center, because that's how you become a good neighbor. All right, here we go. Wayne in Rancho Mirage. He needs to know what are the best restaurants in Desert Hot Springs. In Palm Desert, Jim needs to find a car hoist that he can rent for an hour so his mechanic can get up under his car. And Bill in Thousand Palms, pre-gaming for St. Patrick's Day and wants to know where the best spot to grab corned beef and cabbages. All right, Bill, I'm going to be on this same thread. Let me know if you find out. I'll join you tomorrow. And Rebecca in La Quinta, pre-gaming for the summer. She needs to find a place to get her air conditioning tuned in for all this summer heat that is on its way. Feels like it's already here and it's only March.
From Palm Springs to Indio to La Quinta, is anyone watching in Indio?
Whatever you're watching, tell us what you think. Find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fred Rogan. You can also email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
All right, remember, the IRS doesn't care about your protests. They only care about your money. All right, welcome back. Tim O'Brien here filling in for Fred Rogan tonight. Now, we're seeing a bold new wave of civil disobedience this tax season as thousands of Americans are flat out refusing to pay their federal income taxes. Protesters say they don't want their hard-earned money funding recent surges in ICE detentions or ongoing war with Iran. Some are even putting their tax dollars into high-yield savings accounts instead of sending them to the IRS, calling it a national tax strike. That's a risky move, to say the least. Legal experts warn it could lead to wage garnishment or even property seizures. And Walter Clark will join us tomorrow for a dive into what could happen to these folks. Now, but for many, it's about drawing a morale line in the sand. Now, with the IRS workforce reportedly gutted by recent budget cuts, these protesters are betting that the government won't even be able to keep up with the paperwork to catch them. We'll bring in our contributors one more time tonight. Tammy, is refusing to pay taxes a legitimate form of civil disobedience, or does it cross the line because taxes fund essential public services?
I think it's a little bit of both, actually. I understand. I understand both sides. I mean, you know, so many people can't afford. We don't have affordable health care, affordable housing, affordable this, affordable that, groceries, the list goes on. But we're spending $1 billion a day on a war that so many people don't believe in, and their taxes are going to ICE. Taxes are going to it. Incarcerations, taxes are going to it. I get it, but they wield the power, and eventually you will have some kind of garnishment or some other horrible thing. But I'm on the. I need Paul to pull me out of this and straighten it out. Up to you, Paul.
Okay, well, I agree with you, and I think, you know, the Pentagon spent $94 billion in 1 month in September. $94 billion in 1 month. That's a lot of money. $7 million on lobster. So people are upset. But we have to remember, we have a social contract. And the social contract is we drive on a road and we have a painted line and we observe this as a contract, and you don't run head on into me, we observe the line. We pay our taxes because we have a system in place where a government is providing services to everybody. Now, when that contract is broken, then things happen. And that contract was broken when the French Revolution happened. It was broken when the Magna Carta was written, and it was broken when the American Revolution happened. So I think what's happening is things are getting to a very serious point, and I think that the leadership of this country needs to pay attention to these people who are not going to pay their taxes. But I think that really we do need to pay our taxes.
Yeah, Tammy and Paul, quickly, one word answer each from both of you. It becomes a slippery slope, right? We're all kind of sheep in a weird way where we follow on. If one person does it, the rest of us are going to do it. That's a dangerous area to get into. Paul?
I don't think that we are sheep. I think that we need to make decisions that are best for us and for our community and for our family. And I think we need to get engaged. And I think the Homeland Security not being funded because of what's going on with ICE is how we respond to these things, not by not withholding your taxes. Tammy?
Quickly,
You're
Tammy,
so
go
wise,
ahead.
Paul.
It's all noise. All right, Paul, Tammy, appreciate your time. Always a pleasure up against the clock here, but happy Monday and have a great week to both of you. What a tangled web the non-functioning windmills on Edom Hills are weaving as we switch topics here tonight. All right, Ken must not have seen our report earlier this month because he went on and reached out to the show and said several years ago, several windmills were erected on or near Edom Hill. They were operated for a couple of years, but it has been a long time since I've seen them operating. Why aren't they being used anymore? Well, Ken, we actually don't know. We thought we figured it out, who owned them at least, when Southern California Edison informed us that a company named Red Marlin Wind Ventures LLC was the current owner, so we went ahead and looked them up. We went on and found nothing. Zero. Bupkis, they say. Can't find an address. Can't find a phone number. But, of course, here at the Rogan Report, never say die. And by we, I mean our producer, Kevin. He's obsessed with this, and I constantly worry about him, to be completely honest with you. I worry about his mental health, his well-being, but that's neither here nor there, just like Red Marlin. But we kept digging, that's for sure. And we came up with the site called Grid Info, which tells you all about these kinds of projects. Kevin's in my ear right now. Are you sure you're okay? All right, good. Now I want to show you something. Take a look at this. Okay, the screenshot of the information on Edom Hill. A couple things here. This was last updated over a year ago, so keep that in mind. But look down there at the bottom under previous operators, a company named Red Marlin, not Marland, operated the site from 2017 to 2021. Then it says Edom Hills Project 1 LLC took over until this was published. So that must be it. Marlin, not Marlind. So we looked up Red Marlin and found a lovely seaside restaurant in San Diego and nothing else. So Ken, do not despair producer Kevin by this type of chubby fingers down to nubs, because here at the Rogan Report, we're never giving up. We won't until we do, and then we're going to let you know when that happens at least. We're no quitters. On March 26th is your last chance to visit Desert Town Hall this year. the Desert Town Hall finishes up its 2026 speaker series with what looks to be a lively debate between Van Jones and Ben Shapiro. They come to the desert on March 26th. Community reporter Amaya D'Souza is the Desert Town Hall Youth Ambassador. She joins us now. All right, Amaya, no stranger to the program. Good to see you again. And we'll tee you up here. Let's just get right into it. What's going on?
Yeah, it feels great to be back. So obviously, the first thing I ever talked about when I was on here was actually Desert Town Hall, and that's because I'm a Youth Town Hall ambassador and ambassador emeritus. And next Thursday, March 26th, is our last Desert Town Hall of the 2026 season. And so I wanted to welcome the community to come and specifically actually high schoolers. Desert Town Hall hosts a thing called Youth Town Hall where high schoolers can come and attend for free with dinner included, and they get to not only meet the speakers personally, but they get to stay and watch their entire kind of TED Talk. And after that, my favorite part, to be honest, is we have a bit of a youth discussion. And so next week we have Ben Shapiro and Van Jones, and I think that it's really interesting because no matter the type of speaker, no matter their background, the kids are interested. And so, for example, one of my favorite speakers we ever had was Frank Abagnale, who introduced the movie Catch Me If You Can.
Okay.
And so he gave us a seminar on cybersecurity. And last season we had Dan Buettner, who created and founded Blue Zones. And so we got to talk about how Palm Springs is using Blue Zone initiatives to promote the city to have healthier habits. And so I think that, I mean, if you're a high schooler, all you have to do is ask your guidance counselor to come and join. And so I wanted to urge, obviously, our adults and our children to come and take, advantage of this opportunity.
Well, you certainly sold it, because there's that preconceived notion that town halls, council meetings, they can be kind of boring, and you just, is my word or my opinion, am I heard, does it matter? But,
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds a little more intimate and one-on-one, and maybe not directly, but it's going to be of a smaller capacity, and it's not so boring.
Yeah, and so for the children, specifically, like for the high schoolers, we're in our own separate room. It's all other teenagers from all across the valley. And then we have ambassadors like myself, and we're the ones who lead discussions. It's not like you have, what could be a seemingly scarier adult asking you questions about topics you might have never heard. You're just kind of welcome to sit and listen and discuss not only with your peers, but with peers across the valley.
Time and date on that?
March 26th,
Okay.
and it's at 5.
And where?
At Indian Wells. It's the Renaissance.
Perfect. There you have it. Amaya, always great to see you.
Great to see you.
When we return, the Riddler checks in.
Hey guys, riddle me this. I defended my borders with forests of stakes and became the bloody inspiration for the world's most famous vampire. I defended my borders with forests of stakes and became the bloody inspiration for the world's most famous vampire. Who am I? Vlad the Impaler.
All right, if you've been checking your watch since the Jetsons first aired, listen up. We're finally trading the freeway for a flight path, and it starts this summer.
Really?
Yes, really. A few brave companies launching the electric vertical takeoff rigs, which, let's be honest, are just human-sized drones for people who hate merging. Don't worry about your neighbor hovering over your patio just yet, though, as these first flights are strictly look but don't touch demos on very short controlled routes. Now, the dream is to literally fly over that soul-crushing 5 o'clock gridlock, but we've still got some major FAA red tape and loud neighbor complaints to clear first. It's a massive gamble for the tech world, and we're about to see if the industry is ready to take off or if it's just a $40 billion way to get a bird's eye view of traffic jams. Don't know what the fuss is. They just look a little like small planes to us. That's all.
Really?
And finally, tonight, the news the Valley has really been waiting for. Papa Dan's, the beloved Italian restaurant in Palm Desert, finally reopened today. Anxious patrons and officials all joined the restaurant's owner and staff this morning for the long-delayed ribbon cutting. It's been 2 years, but now what some in the Valley call the best is back in the business. You can visit Papa Dan's in the Plaza at Monterey Center, 73131 on Country Club Drive in Palm Desert. It's a good spot for sure, so go enjoy it, of course, and don't forget to check out all the latest Rogan reports and everything in chronological order. Certain segments, full episodes, you can do that by visiting our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. That'll do it on this Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Wheel of Fortune is next.